the video is really moving. That guy's face, that scene where he's walking through the crowd, it almost made me cry. I was like, I had to catch my breath. It was really powerful. Wow.
There's a movie, Ordinary People, that Robert Redford directed it, and there's this scene where Mary Tyler Moore takes the birthday cake, puts it back in the refrigerator, and no one sees that, so he wanted the scene to be something that no one would normally see. It's just between the person and that moment. I thought about that with the video.
When you described that moment of putting the cake back in the refrigerator, that reminded me of what you said about your album, the concept of drawing from memory, that nobody else sees that private moment. And I guess it's the same thing, memories in a way are private moments too, and so how do you show them to people?
There's me, and there's my dad, and there's him taking the pictures, and there's me with a tape recorder, and there's Bob singing on the TV. We're experiencing it together. I've had that picture in my head my whole life, but no one's ever seen it. So I was like, well, that's such a cool thing. I could draw all my memories. See, I have 2 little girls now with my wife Susie, and everything I do creatively now, and it means so much more. I feel like I'm leaving gifts for them. I mean, I guess that's a morbid thought, but that's
I think that's a nice way to look at it. It's legacy stuff. You're thinking about what you leave behind.
Yeah, and I want them to like I don't know. This is great. I wish my parents could draw me their memories. But I wasn't spoiled in the way of like buying things for me. I was spoiled in the way of these experiences. They took me to see Diana Ross. She came out in the audience. She sat on my lap. Took me to see Diana Ross and the Supremes, or I went with them to see Diana Ross and the Supremes. And at one point, she came out in the audience while she sang "Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand, Make This World a Better Place If You Can." She sat on my lap and continued to sing it. I just started going off on this drawing thing, and then this was like the first time I saw a band on stage. It was at a place called Dobbs in Philadelphia, and I just remember them all scrunched together. And then this one, my friend Jimmy Stranix, when I was growing up, he was my friend from down the street. He comes in, he runs up the street breathless. He out of breath, and he's like, from the other side of the neighborhood. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, he couldn't even get it. He's like, the Rolling Stones are down at the George Washington Motor Lodge. There was like, we had this George Washington Motor Lodge at the bottom of the street, at the bottom of the neighborhood. And I was like, yeah, there's what? And he's like, I swear to God, the Rolling Stones are down at the George Washington Motor Lodge. There was like, we had this George Washington Motor Lodge at the bottom of the street, at the bottom of the neighborhood. And I was like, yeah, there's what? And he's like, I swear to God, the Rolling Stones are there. And I went down there. It was like my heart was beating 1,000,000 miles an hour. And the Rolling Stones were not at the George Washington Motor Lodge, but he wasn't extremely far off. There was a tour bus that said the Rolling Stoned. And he was on his way to pick up Peter Frampton.
Oh.
So it's not that bad. Yeah, also good, right? Yeah. And and he let us check out the bus for a second and all that stuff. And this is a drawing, and I remember this so well. This is me, and that's Jimmy Stranix, and he got back in the bus because he was stopping at the Motor Lodge. He probably had his like afternoon sleep, and then he comes back in, and then that's his gig to go get Peter Frampton. He said, I'm on my way to New York to pick up Peter for the next gig. You guys want to come along? He said, I'm on my way to New York to pick up Peter for the next gig. You guys want to come along? Which I think is kind of like illegal, and like there's something not right about that. But I remember that moment in time so well, and it was like, in between all this stuff, I've been writing songs. It came about in between doing these drawings, and I wasn't really putting 2 and 2 together. At some point, I realized these songs are like these drawings, and then I had the concept of drawing from memory. I don't play all the instruments because I think I'm the best musician. I just can play them, and I'm here, and I'm excited about the song, and so I just do it. But I got myself to just slow down.
Did you like that process of working with other people for a change? Was it freeing in some way?
Creativity is a lonely business. And I think everyone in the world should have a band. It was nice to connect with people on this. And Anthony was really excited about the track. I sent it to him, and he was like, dude, I'm all over this. And I was so excited. It wasn't just like, cool, $50, okay? It wasn't like that. And then this is Kristen Weber. Actually, my friend Billy Harvey, again, that I was talking about earlier, he said, you know, it'd be great on this stuff is like strings. And I'm like, oh, I know a girl who plays violin. Anyway, Kristen Weber, she just made this record so more than I ever expected it to be. And then Matt North played drums. It was awesome. I tried drawing him there, and it looked like Dennis Weaver too much, so I decided to turn that into a bass drum. I usually keep my mistakes and then make it part of it. I really like that. I think having Dennis Weaver on a kick drum would be actually awesome. And yeah, that's Billy Harvey. And Billy played bass and guitar on some songs, and he also sang into a vocoder on a keyboard. It was either 79 or 80. I think it was 1980.
It looks like a small theater.
Yes.
Elephant Man.
Yes.
Now, from the looks of the drawing, you're very close. How visceral was that experience for you?
That's David Bowie.
Wow, do you think that experience is bigger now in retrospect? Obviously because you were a kid.
He was so good that I forgot it was David Bowie about 2 minutes in. All those books right there, notebooks and poems and drawings and things that I've kept all these years. I never drew my memory before, but I find it comforting to know that like that those years that are gone now are like, they're not gone, they're right there. Those years that are gone now are like, they're not gone, they're right there. That was like the essence of my life anyway, you know. So, and I have like one of the notebooks there is the week John Lennon died, and I think I wrote, John, why did you have to die? So these things really, as Paul Simon says, I have my books and my poetry to protect me. And so the cover of the album, I drew the songs in the album. There's one song called Parade of No's. Somebody asked me what it's like being a musician in a career. I said, you know what? It's like every day is a fucking parade of no. So I drew the Parade of No's, and there's a song that I wrote about my dad called Missed Opportunity. That's about, he always used to take pictures of birds on the beach and everything, and he would come back with 9 billion rolls of film that cost like $1 million from his vacation that probably cost like half of that. But I thought about you try to get a picture of something and it flies away before you get your camera all ready, and thought of it as a missed opportunity. And there's a song called Been So Long Since I Wrote a Song in A minor. It's about being happy now and not writing in minor keys as much.